Ontario's PC leader Patrick Brown sitting down for a meeting today with John Tory, telling him about his commitment to Toronto. And Tory, for his part, seems willing to play with anyone who will play ball.
My objective is not to pick favorites or to put anyone down. I could and I would and I will work constructively with any and all of the leaders, regardless of who ends up in the government and who's in the opposition. I think it's my job to work with them and to make sure they understand the issues from Toronto's perspective and that I understand the job that they have to do.
And you'll remember that Tory was critical of last week's provincial Liberals' latest budget, going as far as to say the government actually turned its back on Toronto. That's because there was no new money set aside for transit or public housing initiatives. While not putting a dollar figure on what a Conservative government would do for the city, Patrick Brown did say he's more than willing to work with the city regardless of the projects on the agenda.
They're very good at delaying infrastructure. The fact that Kathleen Wynne in this last budget was making infrastructure commitments for 2030. Does anyone think she's going to be in office in 2030? I hope she isn't. I'm a little biased on that. But I think the City of Toronto needs some help now, and I can tell you they would have an energetic and renewed partnership if we have the honor to serve government.
But I'm talking about the future when it comes to transit. The fact we can't repeat, just sort of putting off indefinitely commitments that we have to make to building more transit to relieve this nightmarish traffic. And I'm talking about housing repairs that need to be made today.
Now, Brown pledged his support for both the downtown TTC relief line and the Scarborough subway. Here's where it gets a little messy. The provincial transportation minister actually showed up at City Hall right after Tory's meeting, and he's accusing the mayor of playing politics.
When I recognize that we are literally investing billions of dollars today, more than 70% of all the transit investments that are occurring in the City of Toronto are flowing from Queen's Park to help support transit in the City of Toronto, to see that there continue to be demands for future projects when there's no confirmed city contribution for those projects is something that I believe crosses the line.
At Queen's Park, the leader of the New Democrats agrees with John Tory, claiming the city got a raw deal in last week's budget, and the mayor is right to be upset.
We thought that this budget would be a budget where the Liberals would finally start to undo some of the damage that they've done to the province of Ontario, but of course they haven't. And I think that Mayor Tory's frustration is felt by all of those other sectors as well.
Last week, Andrea Horwath promised to pay half of the TTC's operating budget if she's elected premier.